Okay, there we go. That's so weird. All I had to do was open the settings and close them in OBS, and now it's working. There we go. Okay, so I've been talking to myself for a while. That's good. All good in the hood. Thanks, D-Nighter. All right. So hopefully you should hear me now. Good thing I didn't say anything important all day. All right, so managers, level settings, level objects, variable, single player, single. Yeah, so that's much more nicely spaced. Gives me a little bit more. Good. Okay, good. So basically I'm just cleaning this up so that I can. So this one, questions per round. That one's more of a multiplayer. Where's that questions per round? Move that down there. That way it's separated out for phase, temporary animation. Oh, so phase. Why is phase below that? Oh, it's the numerable. There we go. We'll just wait for that to kick in. There we go. Move phase up here into our variables. All right, good. Now, the other thing that I wanted to do is add a very simple collider to this guy and to the outer walls so that things don't so that things can actually bounce off him. Hello, Potassium. How are you doing today? Nobody calls me beautiful except you, Potassium. Thank you. All right. You just woke up from a nap? Wasn't yesterday National Nap Day or something? I always think it's weird when they put National X Day on Twitter because it's an international service. So it's like, how presumptuous is that? You had D&D yesterday? Nice. So are you the DM or are you, or is your D&D do not disturb? Okay, he does have a basic collider on him. Animator, where's his... What's that coming from, I wonder? It's not on the audio. It's not on the game show bot. Host. Eyes. Weird. Whoa! You almost died. Oh my god. Potassium, sorry, I didn't mean to make light of that. Wow, that is I feel really bad about joking around about that. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, okay. I thought, whoa. I thought you were like, like I all of a sudden my mind went from D&D to DNR, like do not resuscitate or something, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm making fun of someone who almost died twice yesterday. Okay, in D&D. Okay, heart attack averted. Oh, I mean, I'm a callous prick sometimes, but I'm not that callous. Okay, so that's the nav mesh agent that's showing that. So if I just add a collider, like a capsule collider, that should block my physics objects. Blarg! Okay, so we'll set the capsule collider to about the middle of them. Your greatsword went into your own chest. Ah, the old tripping on the sword situation. There, that looks like a good fit for the capsule collider. And let's just pick I think I made the floor a little bouncy, so we'll make him the same material as the floor. Now, the other thing I want to do is when you let go of your shields in the game, I want it to like have some momentum. Right now, if my hand is going like this, it's not picking up, like it's not capturing its momentum properly, so I need to figure out a way to do that. It shouldn't be too hard. Let's find our shields. Alright, let's collapse all this. Here we go, we've got a shield here that we can activate and play with. Grab offset, destructible HP. Let's create a new script. And we're going to call this Throwmentum, because it's momentum and throwing, and because it's my game, so I can name things based on stupid puns if I want to. Oh yeah, like a virtual D&D to where it's like this and you can look around and so forth. That'd be so good. Like, it'd be so cool to have well, you know, and I bet you, like, let's just have a look here. VR chat D&D. I wonder if there's something like that. So yeah, I mean, I think that'd be so cool to have, like, even just a VR. Oh man, oh, it's such a good idea. Like, it would work so well. So basically, okay, so potassium, that's where integrating with Google Poly would be good. So right? So you make it so that people can upload their own things to Google Poly, and then you can bring them in and maybe have it like tagged, like you could have it so that it pulls up things with a specific tag first. So like maybe you come up with a game, like you can't really use D&D because of the but what would you call it? What would you call it? like VRPG. I bet you that's already taken. Let's just see. VRPG.io. Nope. VRPG. Sony trademarked VRPG in Japan. But yeah, so you make it so that people can create their own objects, upload them to Poly, and then they're importable by the game master for each game. So he could set up what they wanted, but then people could work on their own characters and add like armor bits and that sort of stuff. You could have core base bits because Google Blocks lets you expand on things and decorate them with like you could decorate your armor with tilt brush. How cool would that be? And then all you'd have to have is in the game you'd have like basic character models, like flat characters, almost like what we're using for this, right? So you'd have like flat characters that you could decorate with stuff from Poly. So you could attach stuff to the head, attach it to the chest and the arms, and and then you'd have you could have different race ones as people wanted them. This would be a really good ongoing project. Like, this would be really cool. Got me thinking. But the other thing is that you could also make it so that it worked with yeah, exactly. Like it would work with not just VR, but you could make it work so that like people could look at the tabletop, like they could see it from above with their phones in augmented reality or whatever, right? I think it'd be really cool. It's a lot of work. It'd be a boatload of work, but I think in the end it'd be a lot of fun too. Now, what was I doing? Okay, I set a collider to him. She's got new colliders. Oh, shields. I've got my shield up because I wanted to add some thromentum to it. Okay, so require component. Now what's the... There we go. Rigid body. Oh, type of. That's right. So what? Okay, let me just double check that. Yeah, that is the same. Did I just put it in the wrong spot? Oh, of course, you put it outside the class. I have no class. There we go. Okay, so we're going to get the component rigid body, and so I know I shouldn't be using so we're just going to put a private vector 3, and that's going to be force vector. need a private. Vector 3, last position. And force vector is always going to be how are we going to do that? Because I need to see, I almost wonder if I should add this the class name Thromentum. Yeah. So I'm almost wondering if I should add it to the hand, because right now the hand controls whether or not something is held. So I'm going to take it off this. So I'm going to remove this component. And I'm going to put it on the hand, because right now when the hand lets go, that's what's sending the message. So I'll do that. So let's apply this guy back up. We're going to find the XR player, left hand, track to VR object, force pull. Yeah, D&D being played via Discord, Skype, etc. would be awesome. And sorry, I had a phone call. So I don't know if you guys remember this. There was, oh God, what was it called again? Google had this weird service before it launched Google Plus. It was like the service from before Google Plus. And it was like a real-time communications platform. Oh man, it's driving me nuts. Roll20.net. Huh, cool. Yeah, but I'm sure there's probably plenty of, everyone wants to play pen and paper using modern technology, so there's got to be something. All right, so hand is full, grab child, hard stop, hand is full. So pen and paper every Monday. Okay, so I've got the grab animation there. Attachment point. So where is that attachment point? You know, sometimes you come back in here and it's like every single thing feels like it's different from the day before. All right. See, I feel like this left pointer oops, I feel like that left pointer shouldn't be on this, but maybe I can just swap out the meshes and it'll work. Anyway, there is definitely something wrong with how I have set this up, but I'll just paste component as new. Thromentum, it does have a rigid body on it, but we actually don't need that require component anymore. Oh, you know, it doesn't need to be. I've got a simple grabber right here. Oh, you know what we can do though? Let's make simple grabber so that this can work as an add-on to the simple grabber. There we go. We'll just make them work together. And then we'll go SG equals get component simple grabber. There, and then you can work together. if SG dot, now on the simple grabber, is it public knowledge whether or not it's held? Oh, it is. Public hand. Okay, so if handful, so we're going to have a private, is that a Boolean? Yeah. So we're going to call, if the handful, and then at the end we're going to go hand was full equals sg.handful. This is just so that we know the cycle, like the update tick when they let go. So and then on this one, if hand was full, there we go. So basically what this is going to do is every tick it's going to track how far your hand was going and use that as a motion vector. And then on the tick you let go, it's going to apply that vector onto your held object. So could you break the things that fire at you? Yes, actually. So that's one of the plans, is that I want to be able to, because right now with the shields, you can deflect the spikes. If you deflect them back at the turret, I want it to disable the turret temporarily so that you get an extra little kind of, and maybe a point bonus for doing that, because, hey, why not? I mean, let's make it so that the danger time is a little bit more dangerous and more fun and more interactive. All right, so if your hand is full, then your force vector equals last position minus transform dot position. And last position equals transform dot position. Okay, whoops. If your hand was full, now on the simple grabber, shoot, so I'm nullifying the attached object. Okay, what we can do is let's set a public game object of last attached object. That way, so now what we're doing is we have a handful. So when we set handful to false, okay, good. So when we release the object, we're going to set that last attached object to the current attached object, and we're going to clear the attached object. Then, if SG dot last attached object is not equal to null. Then rigid body RB equals SG dot last attached object dot get component rigid body. Holy moly. And then RB dot add force vector. God, I hope I'm doing this right. Okay, so in theory what I've done is made it so that as your hand is moving, it's tracking how fast it's moving every cycle. At the end of each cycle, we might want to put a public float force multiplier. And we'll just set that to 1 for now. But that way, if we want it to add a little bit more force when we let go, if hand was full, okay. All right, everything's in there. Let's see if it works at all. So we're going to start by setting up a little bit of a test here. So let's get rid of our podium for now. And we'll kick up the old handsets here. I think I only put it on the left hand, didn't I? Let's just check that. Okay. I don't have to see my hands yet. Hands, where are you? Hans? Okay, my hands aren't tracking. Oh, there they go. Okay, that doesn't seem to be working very well. Ooh, that is really glowy. Okay, well, it's not quite working. And my hands aren't quite aligned. There's something weird with the alignment of the hands. They're really rigid and bizarre. There's some weirdness here. Well, that's a little better with the... Well, it's cool. It's working a little better, but it's not quite there yet. Oh, you guys can't even see what's going on in the game. We got like the completely wrong... All right. So we're just going to log a little bit of information here. So throw. So let's make sure it's actually throwing, first of all. Oh, wait. Here's another thing to check. Was I putting it on the left hand? I thought I was, but what if I'm tracking everything with the... Yeah, it was on the left hand. Okay, good. Okay, so oh, that isn't good. I don't know how many times those things have taken a plummet. Okay, so let's see. Oh, my hands just went missing again. There they are. Okay, so it is saying it's throwing, but it's always throwing with a vector of 0. So let's see why. Okay, so we're gonna show the force every cycle here. Let's try not to drop my handset again. Okay, that should have given me some... Okay, so the force is updating, but then I feel like what's happening is we almost need to have sort of an average. No, it's not going very fast at all, potassium. I feel like what it needs to do is it needs to, right now it's just capturing the last frame you were on and the frame you're on right now. It almost needs to capture and average it over a couple of frames, like over like 5 frames. Yeah, I'm at work. You can tell I'm at work because there's no one here. If I was at home, it would be constant noise. Alright. If I was at home, you'd hear dogs barking, and birds chirping, and cats meowing, and fish, well, they don't really jump. Bubbling? Gurgling, maybe? Well, you'd hear the fish filters gurgling, and all that sort of stuff. All that sort of stuff that is so distracting. Alright. Fish fishing, exactly. fishy, 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 fish. Why is force vector always 0 when I let go? Oh yeah, you can see both my controllers. You know what I bet happened is I bet they didn't shut down, the controllers didn't shut down properly last night. Okay, while I'm trying to figure this out, I'm going to throw these batteries in to charge for a minute. Because I only really need one hand to test, and I've got one set of charged batteries, so let me just run to the charger here. All right, one fresh pair of batteries, ready to go. All right, that ought to do it. Like maybe over the last couple of frames. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why this wouldn't work and what the best way to fix it is. So I feel like oh, you know what? We can get away with only 2 samples if we increase the time between samples. So right now, for example, we're checking every frame, which is a very incredibly short amount of time, right? But if we check every quarter of a second, we can get the vector of how far it's moved over 0.25 seconds. So what we will do is we'll have a private float sample length. There we go. That'll work. And then we'll have a private float current sample. So when we start, current sample equals sample length. And then what we'll do is current sample minus equals time dot delta time. So delta time is the time in between when the last frame rendered and when this frame rendered. So what I'm going to do is we will set it to current sample equals minus time. So if our current sample is less than equal to 0, then we'll set current sample to our time sample, sample length, and force vector equals last position, and So at the end of each one, if our hand was full last cycle, you know what? We can do all of this inside the sample now. So if hand was full and sg.handfull equals false. So if my hand was full the last time we checked, why is that not working? That's a Boolean. What? Come on. Cut me some slack here, variables. There's something I'm not seeing here that is very obvious. Left. You know what? I bet it's just... Oh, thank you, D-Nighter. I was looking in the wrong spot. I kept looking at this, and it was this. All right. See, it's good to have other people watching you code. As embarrassing as my mistakes are, at least I fix them more quickly this way. So we'll move that inside there. And we'll only do this every sample. Oh, I know. That's the worst thing about coding is when it's like some silly little mistyped thing and that it's a mechanical error. It's like the error exists between your brain and your hands and the keyboard. That's the worst part. Because if it's a logic error in how the flow of your program is going, you can sort that out. But if it just comes down to like a tiny bug hunt, it can be so weird. So okay, so that should sample at every so the sample length, let's set a default on that of 0.25 float. So every quarter second we'll check it. And let's put our debug logs back in so we know when things are throwing. Okay, good, throw, we're good. And then okay, good. So let's see how that affects our momentum. Oh, so this is a lie. It says controller is in standby. There's no battery in there. Steam, that's not true. All right, so oh, maybe it thinks it's this one. That makes sense, sort of. All right. Why does my hand keep disappearing? Is it like a rendering issue? Come to me. Okay, that didn't work. It did throw it. So now the question is, WTF. So it threw it, and it looks like it threw it. So let's adjust our force multiplier and see how that works. Because I bet you it's just like the... Yeah, you know what it is? This amount of force is ridiculously small. So we just need to multiply it out. So let's go on our left hand here. Nope, our left hand here. It's on the pointer. And let's multiply it by 100 and see how that works. Because it should be like between 1 and 500 kind of thing. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, you know what it's doing? So now it's an order of magnitude. So there's two things that are happening that are wrong here. So when it threw it, this is going to end very badly. Force vector times force multiplier. Okay, we'll add that. And then right now, the other thing is we need to be doing the transform position minus our last position, not the other way around. So basically what was happening is when I was throwing it, it was trying to come back at me, and then it was hitting the collider on my arm and bouncing. And that was dropping the momentum. So that's good. Pointer left. Let's amp up our throw power to like 200, 300. Let's take it to over 9,000. All right. Come on, you. That still didn't work. It worked a little better. Whoops. Come on back. Oh, I just hit my monitor. You're right. Oh, come back. There we go. Well, that sort of worked. Maybe I need to do it over 1/10 of a second. See, that went the right way. Yeah, see, that's working. There's some weird stuff happening, but I can throw it. Ouch! Oh! It came right back and hit my head. Come on, you, back to me. There we go. Come on back. Come on back. There we go. Come back. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so there's a little bit of throw power going on here. It's not great. Yeah, so I think you're right, Potassium. So we're going to multiply the... So we'll sample every 1/10 of a second, and then we'll amp up our momentum. Let's double it for now. Oh wait, so we're sampling at a half size, so our distances will be halved. 900. Hey, that worked pretty well. That didn't. That also didn't. Let's see if I can hit the host. Oh, yeah, got him. Uh-oh. Well, I just killed my shield. Hey, how's it going, grenades? You were right. All right, let's see what happens if we crank it up to... It's going all right, Wasted. I don't know what I should call you. Wasted? X? Grenades? Oh, so I had a thought this morning when my microphone was off that anytime I want to swear, I should just substitute it with a an X. So, like a variable, like, and then that way. All right, here we go. Force of 9,000. Huh. That didn't do anything. Oh man, that went well. That went. All right, so a force of 9,000 is too far. It flew so fast. It flew off into the ether. So I'm going to have that again, the sample length. Yeah, I bet you didn't. So I threw it, and it just shot off like in this direction, like miles and miles and miles. It went right through the outer wall and into the ether. All right, so 9,001 is not the value, but I bet you we could get away with like 1,400. No, it's not quite there. You almost have to throw it sidearm for it to work properly. I gotta remember to move back when I'm doing testing like this, because I'm like wailing my hand all over the place and. Like a dead duck. Yeah, I need to sample over time a little bit more. Huh. That is... It's not quite there. Like it feels like it needs... Now the sample length seems too small. Also, it seems like my... Oh, you know what it is? When I'm logging out the values, it's rounding them. But I can see here that it's maintaining them. But my most recent throw was like 22, so... Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to have a little fun with this. So on our game show, managers, game manager, we have the phase limits. So we're in pre-game phase right now. So we're going to set this to 1. And then we're going to go to player shoulder for our main camera. So that should bump it to the player shoulder. And then the player shoulder camera currently tracks... Oh, it doesn't have a follow target. Well... You guys get to play the shield. Let's see how that works. This should be vomit-inducing. Come on, you. Hey, why is it not grabbing? Grab, damn it. Oh, so the simple grabber okay, so I screwed the simple grabber up when I took the there we go. Yeah, see, here we go. Okay, so we're just going to quickly do that, and we'll attach you guys to the shield again here. So... And we'll just change the host cam this time so that it's set up for the shield. There. Good. Okay. Let's try that again. And we'll just play with the values until we get it right here. Whoa, you're spinning off into space. Come on back, come on back. There we go. So that isn't bad. But it does need more force. See, like, that's nothing. I don't know why that didn't. So we almost need to, on the hand, where's our pointer? Come back, shield, come back. Oh, it's gone now. Where are you guys? You're off in space. Whoa, now you're way off in space. There. Okay. Again, probably shouldn't be right next to my desk when I'm testing throwing mechanics. Oh, I threw it right into the ground. You can throw it, but it doesn't feel right yet. Oh, come back. There we go. Whoa. Okay. All right. Oh, I've got a call coming in from North Dakota. Aaron speaking. Good. How you doing? Okay. Nice. So yeah, okay. So and yeah, so you're gonna have a pretty big booth there, and yeah, cool. I can't wait to see it. It's so close. GDC is so close. Yeah, it's yeah, it starts. Well, I fly out this Sunday, and then it's all next week. Oh yeah. Yeah, well, apparently the new Vive, the Vive Pro, is the same resolution as the Samsung Odyssey mixed reality. Oh, I don't know. Yep. Well, I'm telling you, as a Microsoft person, you should be looking into the Samsung Odyssey. Oh yeah, that'll do it. Okay. All right, cool. Well, yeah, fire an email to me with the names of the people who I should be meeting with, and I will see them at GDC. All right, thanks for the call. Okay, bye. So that was my Microsoft Azure rep who I had some questions about basically how I can do the voice a lot more easily for my host so that he can read out the questions. Because they have server-side speech generation so that we can add in the questions with more emotion and that sort of fun stuff. Anyway, I had some problems using the Azure software to get it working properly, and so they are going to help, in theory. All right, and my brain is mush. So, I know that there's probably already a script that I could just attach to this to give it the momentum that I want, but god damn it, I just want to be able to build that myself. So here's one of the reasons I want to build this myself. And this is terrible to say, but I had a whole bunch of people on my Twitter feed who were tweeting out these amazing things that they built. Yeah, okay, so D-Nighter, I actually was using Watson for this. Let me put a link in the old Chatsky. Just need to Scooby-Doo-Doo. Where are my videos? Okay, so let's put this in the chat. So that YouTube link is to a video that we did for some architectural visualization, and the little like robot avatar in there uses Watson for speech recognition and for outputting speech. So basically the idea was you're in and let's I'll just bring it up here so that you guys can see it, just so that there's something that I'm talking about here. I'm not going to put the audio on, but so she says, like, can you tell me a little bit more about the apartment? And then he's like, the apartment is blah, blah, blah. Or she says, no, can you tell me more about the neighborhood? And then he explains the neighborhood. But basically what it does is it uses Watson's AI to classify what the person says into a series of responses. So if they ask about the size of the condo, then it reads back the size. The idea was that you'd be able to input a listing, so a listing for an apartment or for a condo or for whatever, and Watson would parse that out and break it up into different potential responses. And we got pretty far along it, but we didn't actually have a client for it. So it's one of those things where we got kind of to a point where we could show it, and now we need someone to actually buy it before we can go any further. All right, so so that throwing isn't working very well. Anyway, like I was saying, people leading up to GDC have been posting such amazing stuff, and it gave me a little bit of coder envy. I've been seeing so many people posting such great stuff that I was like, I should build something good. And you know, this is where the limitations of my skill directly clash with the the hugeness of my aspirations. So it's like, I want to build something cool. Oh, yes, I'm not that great of a coder. So I'm working on it. It's a lifelong thing. I will probably die as a mediocre coder, but I'll have died trying to be a better coder, and that's all that matters. All right. Hey, Frankie, how's it going? So what I need to do is... Oh, yeah, you know what? I probably have my thing... I bumped my monitor. Oh, and also, I'm sitting on a real chair today. So, and usually I have this kneeling chair. So, when I sit on the kneeling chair... I'm up higher. There we go. That's my real size. I was feeling super lazy this morning, so I sat on the flop chair instead of on the chair that I really probably should be using, but all right, so my sample length is set to 0.1. Oh, so here. So what we can do is we will set this as a public, and then we can adjust the sample length on the fly. So now you can see I've got the sample length down here. Let's set it to 0.1. And our force multiplier to 3000. And if we turn on debug on this, we should be able to see our force vector as we're moving our hand. So let's just do that. Let's just have a quick look at what our momentum actually is at any given moment. So you can see it changing now. Okay, so I'm gonna have a quick... Oh. There we go. So it should be, as I swing it more wildly, it should be changing. You know what I think is happening too? Oh, that was a good one! Could you guys see that one? No, okay. Oh, yeah! Okay, so that, whoa, whoa! Come back, come back! Oh, it bounced off him and like flung out into the stratosphere again. So I think one of the other things that is happening is that the collider on this, the shield collider, is on layer... so I was going to set a layer that ignores the arms. Yeah, let's maybe do that. So What's this called again? So this is your bicep, and then forearm. Let's call it forearm. Ignore forearm. There we go. So one of the things that you can do is now if we go onto the shield, we can set it to ignore forearm. Yes, change children. And let me just double check and see if any of my... Oh, force pull bounds should be set to force pull. Okay, so good. So now what we've done is we've set the collider for it to ignore the forearm. And so on the forearms and on the hands, so we need a new layer for these. That is forearm. Okay, good. So, and then on the pointer left, so that has a rigid body. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add that to the forearm so that it doesn't collide with the Ooh. Shoot. It has to collide with the shield. If it doesn't collide with the shield, how can you grab the shield? I need it to briefly, when you let it go, because basically what's happening is when you let it go, your hand's collider is still touching the collider for the shield. And that's, so I try to apply force to it, but then I have the force of the hand trying to bounce it in weird ways, so that instead of going in the direction that I want it to go in, it's also, yeah, so I could make the handle a separate unit, but let me just see here. On collision enter, which hand left, game object tag equals grab. Attach object. Okay, so what we can do is, can we set it to the layer? Is that just a string value? Equals, let's just see what that. Okay, so the layers are numbered. So, yeah, I could set my hand collider to a trigger for a few seconds. That might work. Yeah, let's try that. That's a good idea, D-Nighter. So, when I release the object, there's attach object, release object. Now, should I do it on the... Yeah, we'll do the hand collider. So, our rigid body... Hmm. Let's take off debug for a second here. The question is, do I even need the rigid body? Because I'm just using on collision enter. This might not even be necessary. Like a rigid body, because I just have the rigid body. Oh, but you know what? I think I'm using it to press buttons and stuff. Let's just see. Oops. Put on my headphones without thinking. That's funny. Okay, yeah, so I do need that rigid body so that it can get in close enough to attach, oddly enough. So yeah, I think D-Nighter is saving the day over here, so so let's set our private collider. We'll set that as a hand collider, and then on release, like the way you think, D-Nighter. This is working. I mean, it's not working yet, but I mean, it probably will work. All right. So, force pull hand send message released. That's working. Pointer left. We should set it to is trigger. That should work. One more time, but this time with feeling. Okay, it locked on. Sort of. Now, is it... I don't see it flashing trigger anywhere. Where did my shield go? I think it's out in outer space again. Man, my character looks silly when I'm not standing up. I mean, it looks silly one way or the other, but... Alright, so... Excuse me. Did I actually ever set the hand collider? That would help. That seems better. Whoa, again, back away from the monitor before throwing stuff. Hey! That's working better. It's still not fantastic, but... Come on, why does my hand keep disappearing? It's working way better, though.
Whoa.
Come back! I really need to put colliders outside the... I really need to put colliders around the outside of the arena so that you can... What? I have colliders on them. How is it going through them? Mesh collider, rigid body. I mean, I wonder if the mass is too small for such a huge object. Let's see if it makes it to the wall. It just bounced off the floor. It's still going. It just completely went through the wall. Yep. That is weird. So I think it's because the mesh collider is only on the outside, and look how thin it is. Yeah, see the thing is if I set it to if I don't set it to convex, then it's just like huge. I'm gonna need to break it apart, I think. It could be that the normals aren't set correctly on it too. Or I might have to break it into a couple parts. I don't know. Bizarre. One way or the other. But yeah, it's definitely like when it's set to convex, you can see the collider, but when it's not, it doesn't do anything. The Hand of Doom. Alright, so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because it's a giant circle, like unbroken circle, and there's something weird about that. So the outer wall mesh. Hey, Dean.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Good. You send out a link this morning sometime?
Did I?
Thought I saw some
I don't think I sent anything out this morning. Let's see.
What's that other communication device?
Oh, on Slack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted a couple things to Slack. Just some inspiration.
Oh, right, the robot. I saw the robot.
Yeah, the crazy looking robot clown.
I zoomed in on it, and the texture on that thing is unbelievable. Like it looks like rusty, metal and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Is that 3D? It was made 3D, or is that an actual?
I think that one may have been. Now I have to look at it again.
It's hard to tell if it's actual physical. Somebody made it. Like the eyes are so cool looking at it, but everything's pretty much.
Oh yeah, I think it's actually a real thing that someone made.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So I think it's something that someone made, like it's a hand-painted figurine kind of thing.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
All right, so by the way, I'm on stream right now, so just so. All right, so.
I'm just gonna spew off a stream of obscenities.
Oh, good. All right, well, I'll solve the problem with the outer wall later. I think that's probably time. It's almost 11 o'clock. It's time to wrap up the stream for today. D-Nighter, thank you so much for your help today. Potassium, thanks for all the suggestions. Everyone else, thank you for joining me. Grenades, thanks for joining. Frankie, thanks for showing up. And everyone have a great day. And we will catch you tomorrow. And next week, hopefully, I will be streaming from GDC occasionally, depending on connection speed and all that sort of fun stuff. But yeah, so have a great day, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.